and welcome to another interesting day on Obidatti Family TV. The program is Diaspora Diaries, and my name is P. Catch. With me in the studio is...
My name is Ife Grace, and you're welcome to Diaspora Diaries.
Yes, all right, you're welcome once again. The program is Diaspora Diaries, and on Diaspora Diaries, we get to interact with Nigerians in the diaspora who are seeking for a new Nigeria. Of course, these Nigerians are all obedient. All right, talking about Nigerians in the diaspora, we have one that is joining us all the way from Europe this afternoon, and is the person of Saddam. He goes by the name Saddam. Saddam is the convener of the violence space on Twitter. Hello, Mr. Saddam, or hello, Saddam. You're welcome to the program.
Very much, Prince. It's a pleasure to be with you guys today. How are you guys doing today? Good afternoon.
We're good. How is the weather in Europe today?
Woo! It's cold today. It's been cold while in winter, so it's like 4 degrees over here.
Wow.
We're coping there.
It's all right. I believe you are abreast with the developments when it comes to the political terrain in Nigeria. We are winding down to the election day. In less than 18 days from now, we'll be having the presidential elections, and we're all gearing up, okay, at least those of us at home, gearing up to participate in that elections. We understand that you are a convener for the violence space on Twitter. Please, can you explain exactly what it is that you guys do?
Okay, thank you very much. Well, the violence space, there's a difference between violence and violence. Yeah. So the violence space is actually a platform that we created out of sheer necessity of Nigerians to be able to speak their mind. I think we're in a system whereby people have lost the opportunity of free press. People have lost the opportunity to be able to say how they feel. In the past couple of years, I think the past 8 years have been a horrible experience for so many Nigerians. So Nigerians have lost. There are virtually a few stations. I don't even think there are stations that even allow calling programs these days. So I stumbled on Twitter Spaces, and I used to go back then in the days, go defend our principal Peter Obi on Spaces, spaces that were mostly PDP and APC spaces. They dominated the Twitter sphere then. That was early last year, 2022. So I just stumbled on one of those spaces, and I went there and I was sharing a whole lot of misinformation, lies being said about the man Peter. That was the early days of Peter coming out, and I like someone that I know the man. I don't know him personally, but I know him. I followed his history. I followed his achievements as a state governor. I saw witness firsthand the developmental strides he had in Anambra State. So when I was hearing all these lies and everything, I had to jump on one of those spaces, requested for the mic, and I spoke on the space that day, and I got a whole lot of feedback from people. People were like, "Oh God, how do you know Peter? How do you know?" And that was it. So I started going all these spaces, and I noticed something. There was a particular trend then that they could have in the speaker space. You should have 10 speakers, and I could jump on the space, and I would see like 9 or 8 of those speakers are people from APC or PDP, young people like myself, and they always gag up with then there was not even obedient. We're just Obi supporters then. The term obedient was not formed then. So they always gagged Obi supporters and probably bringing 1 or 2 of us, and when we're speaking, when we're done, we're giving them facts, they will drop us off. So that was how, out of that necessity of finding a place to speak, somebody reached out to me, a friend reached out to me, because he has noticed that I've been going on a couple of spaces speaking for Obi, defending Obi, and he was like, "Guy, I think you should start up your own space." And as of then, I had started seeing a whole lot of Obi. After every space I go to, I see Obi supporters following me up, in my Twitter account, and my Twitter account was growing gradually, and I was like, okay. And he said, why don't you open your own space and start doing something like these guys are doing? And we that have been coming on these spaces to listen to these guys, we follow you and come on your space. And I was like, should we or should we not? And I tried it one day, and the reception though was very low. I think we had less than 100 people on the space that first day, but it was an interactive forum. It was an opportunity for me to speak about the man the way I want to speak without being gagged, and an opportunity for other obedient to come in and also speak, and even other party members of other party, PDP, APC, also to come in and also speak the way they want to speak. So it was like a vent-free space for Nigerians that we created, and that was the beginning of the violence space. And I dare say right now it is the biggest political space in Nigerian Twitter. We have pulled numbers that we have shut down. We have shut down the establishment. I've actually lost 2 of my accounts, big accounts, because of the movement, because of the space. So it is. I lost my last account just yesterday. So yeah, it is something we have created. We have gone on to open a radio station. We have gone on to create a website. We have gone on to have a YouTube channel. We have, in the space of 8 months, so we have done a whole lot for the movement, creating a platform for Nigerians to speak. We have interviewed on space, I think the biggest of them from, I was with Dati. Dati came on one of our spaces. Peter Obi himself has been on our space though for like 10, 15 minutes. We had his deputy, his DG yesterday was on space with us. Mr. Akin Oshun Tokon was with us on space yesterday. We have had the Lagos State gubernatorial candidate, Badebo Rose. We've had virtually all the Labour Party speakers. The Labour Party speakers have been on the space. We have raised over 50 million on the platform. We have been supporting support groups. I think we have done a whole lot, So, but it is never enough. We can always continue to do more. So that's just the growth of the violence space till today.
Interesting. Quite impressive. All right, with less than 18 days to go, what is the violence space? Okay, what is the violence space doing? Putting up structures, or what do you have on ground to ensure that Mr. Peter Obi emerges the winner of this election?
Well, we are in collaboration. Actually, we are in collaboration with support groups. We tried to form we're a political bloc. We are not a support group. We're a political bloc that supports support groups. So we have over the past the last month we have distributed material support in terms of stickers, flyers, flags, safety wears to over 27 states. We are practically right now on our jingle drive. We are trying to have a media drive. I will say this, we are the first people, we are the first set of people that went to the north. For the past 7 months, we have Peter Obi's program aired in 9 states, radio programs. So when people see the turnout in the north, so many people have been doing a whole lot of hard work behind the scenes. We have 30 minutes program aired in 9 states in the north for the past 7 months. We have financed these projects by Nigerians, all financed by Nigerians, raised on the space. So we have done a whole lot. But what we are doing right now is that we are in collaboration with a whole lot of other support groups. We are practically right now fundraising for the 100. We are planning for the 100 million man march, which should be taking place on the 18th of February, exactly 1 week to the elections. We hope to have that march. We hope to make it the biggest march ever, a march that should show Nigerians and the world in general where the people are siding with. So we are practically planning towards that march. And we're also doing voters education every Tuesday on our spaces. We host our spaces actually every 2 days a week. On Thursdays from 4 p.m. till when we get tired. That's another thing about us. We could host spaces for as long as 8-10 hours. Yeah. So on Thursdays and on Saturdays, 4 p.m. also. But due to the exigencies of the time we're in right now, we have to introduce the Tuesday spaces, which is strictly based on election matters. I will say something here. if there's one platform that have demystified the candidature of Tinubu and Atiku, is the violence space. We have we actually made them who the image you see people call Tinubu and Atiku today. We open Nigerians to seeing them for who they are today. We are the ones that were that one platform that every Thursday and Saturday we dedicate it to exposing these two candidates for Nigerians to see truly who they want to vote for. So we have dedicated Tuesdays for election matters. We're educating, having voters education every Tuesdays on our spaces. We are helping support groups with material. So going forward, in the next 18 days, I think our work right now is to make sure we have a successful 100-man march. But not just 100-man march, we are also sending 100 million man march. Sorry, we are also sending materials from the funds we have raised to across the whole 36 states. By the special grace of God, we are going to make sure that we have LP flags across the whole 36 states, across the 704 local governments, across the hundreds and thousands of polling units and wards. We are trying to make sure we have the LP presence felt here. So that's what we're doing right now in collaboration with other support groups. So we are a power block. We're not support groups, but we support groups.
Interesting. Okay, there have been several polls before now that have put Peter B ahead of the other candidates in these elections. The most recent one is the Next Tier polls, and according to the polls, we have seen that Peter B has recorded a very low voting or expectation in the Northwest and Northeast. You mentioned the work that the violence space is doing in the North. How would you rate Peter B's popularity in the Northeast and the Northwest?
Well, for me, I would say elections. I tell people always on our space, I say elections is not a salvation ministry. Yeah, you cannot save everybody. You cannot win everywhere. You can always that is what wise politicians do. You find your base, you consolidate on your base, and you try to eat into your opponent's stronghold. The Northeast and the Northwest are not predominantly P2B's base. No matter how hard you work there are people that are always blinded by certain sentiments that they will never vote for him. So we just try to do the bit we can do. And that's why we started very early, because I grew up in the North and I understand the sentiment that surround the region. And I know that there are a lot of sensible people in the North that if they truly understand the man called Peter and what he brings to the table, they will resonate with him. And I started saying this on our spaces for the past like 9 months ago like 8 months ago, when nobody believed that Peter will have inroads into the North. Nobody believed. I grew up and I told them, watch what's going to happen in the North. I feel at the right time, probably, and I told them the right time I feel is going to be few weeks to the elections, when the real image of Peter, because as of then, there was a whole lot of stories, lies being peddled about the man, his image, who he is and who he's not, and it is very easy to pass fake news in the North. It's the easiest way to pass than even in the South, because they have one means of communication, which is the radio, so that is their major means of communication. And that's why when you hear articles say we have less people, we have over 100 million, our major people are not on social media, it is true. So it was easy. That was why we targeted the media. So for the past 8 months, we have been steadily bringing out the man's interviews, bringing out his resume every new week with new programs. We translate it to Hausa and spread it to the North. So we have done a whole lot of work. I know that his chances in the Northeast and Northwest might not be as large as his fellow contestant, but the good thing is that there are 3 major people contesting for those votes there. So, and you can't tell me that the population of the whole Northeast and Northwest beats other region. It is not 3-1. It is almost equally. Yeah, we're almost equal in number, if not even the South is more populated, but that's a discussion for another day. So I think by the time those 3 major candidates in the Northeast and not in the other parties scramble for votes across those regions, then the numbers that will come out from there will not be something that's going to create damage for Peter as a person. So I feel he's going to have a good showing. unlike what people are thinking from this same region. And honestly, I've not checked the polls. I'm not a man that I don't depend on polls. I depend on the amount of work we put in. If we put in the work, the necessary work, hopefully the polls, I don't feel the polls are really showing truly. I think the polls is being suppressed to me. I think if the polls really show what is happening across Nigeria, you see that the election is going to be in a landslide.
All right, all right. Let me allow my co-host Grace to get in here.
Yes, Saddam, you're doing a brilliant job over there, and we really appreciate that. Keep it up. I want to get to your point of view on this. What made P2B to stand out from the other candidates who are coming up for the presidential election?
Honestly, I think that's like the most easiest thing for everybody to say.
I want to get your point of view on that.
Me personally, I grew up in, I said earlier on, I grew up in the north. I've known Peter. I've known Peter because I am from I grew up in Anambra, from Anambra State. So I know going back home as a kid, I know the difference from how it was to when Peter came in as a governor. So I witnessed firsthand the only third road to my village ever. When I mean third road, the road network Peter created in Anambra State it's like a magic. You pass through people's villages. These are roads that I know every time I'm going back home as kids. My father makes sure he changes all his tires, the legs, the shocks, everything. We come back from the village, we change everything. So I saw firsthand when there was a change in guard in Anambra State, how the man transformed the road sector. I saw the health sector in my village. I saw the schools. All of a sudden, all those abandoned schools in my village grow. I'm seeing like, as in my village, Igwe people that are building this school or something. I never knew it was Peter doing all those changes. So, and the first time ever I had a gunshot in my life was in Anambra State, in Onitsha, to be precise. And I went back to Onitsha like 8 months later, eight years later, sorry. And I was wowed by the transformation in Upper Iweka. So I've seen firsthand what the man did. And I'm looking at these other candidates, and I'm looking at presently where Nigeria stands now as a country. I'm looking at these guys. These guys are, first of all, they are way past their time. You cannot see these men make coherent statements. They're not agile enough. Nigeria don't need another sick president after a sick president that we have right now. So we can easily look at the energy Peter vibrates. You can see when he talks about competence, character, and capacity, you can see it in him. This man can be in 4 states in a day. It is not rocket science for me to see that from all these candidates, one man is ready to work, and these other people are just willing to take power because they feel like it is their right, because they have done this and they have done that. One says Emiloko, the other one say it is I've been contesting since 93. So you can see where Nigeria has to get to as a people. We are the precipice. We need a total revamp in our leadership structure, and I think Peter is going to offer us that.
Okay, that is absolutely great. The group that you're into, the value space, do you think you're doing enough to make sure that Mr. P2B emerge as the president?
Yeah, I think to our best of our ability, we are doing our best, but enough is not enough. There's nothing that's enough. You can always keep doing more. I know the sacrifices. I have not for the past 8 months stepped out of my house on a Saturday. If you understand what that means, I have sacrificed my weekends for the movement. So when people, I have sacrificed jobs for the movement. So, but I still feel it's not. I've lost 2 of my. I'm not someone that I'm not a social media person. I just come and have fun on social media and leave. But I lost my major account that is over 10 years old for the movement. I've lost another one for the movement. So, but it is still not enough, and I'm still really willing to lose more for the movement, because for me, there's nothing you can lose as a Nigerian that is greater than having a country that works for the people. A whole lot of our people, I see our Nigerians in diaspora, and there's a crazy world out here. We really deserve to have a country that works for us. So there's nothing I come out and say I have done that I will say it is enough. It is not enough. We can always keep doing more, and by the grace of God, we'll keep doing more.
Yeah, that is absolutely great. For those living in diaspora that are not in any kind of group, do you think they can actually help in one way or the other as an individual?
Definitely. We advise them on our platform. On the violence space, we have a mantra 10 for 1 for 10. For diasporans, what we do is we encourage everybody in diaspora. I myself, I am not talking of people I know. I have over 10 votes for Peter that I know is directly me. I push them from PVC collection to PVC, from PVC registration to PVC collection. That's what we have preached over the past few months. We have told all our members, please go out and get, and more. If you're in diaspora, you cannot do much, but you have people that depend on you for funds back home. And there's no reason why your mom, your brothers and sisters, your siblings, your friends that are asking you for money should not have their PVCs, and not just have their PVCs, should not vote for Peter. So we have done that a whole lot. So you must not be in support group. You can always finance. We encourage people to donate to the campaign. We encourage people to support groups. And most times we like the projects I say we have been carrying out are mostly funded by diasporans that are not in support groups, So you can always, the funds, campaigns and elections are very expensive. They're expensive. So we need money from people that are willing to help. And I think the diasporans have done a very, very, very huge service to Peter Obi's campaign.
All right. Thank you so much, Saddam. We're going to be going on a very short break right now. So we just advise that our viewers, you don't want to miss the next part of this interview. All right, so just stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Hello, this is my message to the Nigerian youths. I am glad that we have this great opportunity to discuss about the future of this country, Nigeria. Nigeria belongs to all of us, but to the youths most especially. I am super proud of what the youths have done, the realization that indeed the power lies with the youth. Indeed, successive governments and leadership have failed the youths. They've dismissed their capacity, the creativity, innovation. And this is why we are where we were. I am here to speak to you that not only am I proud of you, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, is super proud of you. We are proud of the movement you're leading and all the sacrifices being made for a better Nigeria. I can tell you, Peter Obi means well for Nigerian youths. He will run a youth-inclusive government and purposeful leadership that will usher in a new dawn for generations to come. Job issues, unemployment, and indeed all the other hazards that we face as a younger generation, I believe will be a thing of the past, at least reduced significantly. I'm here to remind you that we are the last lap of this race, when we all need to come to the consciousness that the effort we're going to put in the next coming weeks can change our trajectory completely and positively. So I want to urge you, do what you can to keep on the fight until a better Nigeria is achieved. You need to make sure that you realize again that you're actually the one running for presidency, just using Peter Obi and Dati Baba Ahmed as symbol. We are coming for a better Nigeria. This is time to vote for Labour Party. The logo is Papa, Mama, Pikin, or LP. On that day, come out in mass, show your energy, show your creativity, do everything you need to do positively to make sure your votes count. That means wait until the end. I am thankful to God for what the Nigerian youths are doing. God bless you all. Thank you.
Welcome back to the program Diaspora Diaries on obidatti. All right, before the break, we welcome to Saddam all the way from Europe, and he's been talking to us about the contribution that his group, which he calls a political bloc, is making towards the obidatti campaign. All right, Saddam, if you're still with us, we'll still like to ask you a few more questions before we let you go. All right, so why, how far will the politics of tribalism, ethnicity, and religion play in this election? Because we've seen some people, okay, because of where the candidates come from, you see some people that will say, I will vote for him just because he is my person. you know, and you still see some people that will vote because of religion. So we want to know, have we been able to break those boundaries, okay, or those walls of tribalism and religion?
I don't think we have been able to fully break it, but we're getting somewhere. You know, I always refer back to my platform, and I always say, because we have discussed this stuff like 8 months ago, and I told people when Peter started coming out saying, don't vote for me based on where I am from, or because I'm a Christian, or because if you even look at the whole stuff, it's meant to be the time of an Igbo man. Vote for me based on my character, my antecedents, that I'm competent, and my capacity. And when he started saying that, I told my friends, I said, one thing I am certain is that there is only one game plan for the ruling parties, the establishment. I call them establishment, that is PDAPC, and is that at the end of the day, they always revert back to status quo. And status quo, that means playing across religious and tribal lines. That is where they always. But the good thing of the matter is that Nigerians have seen hardship. Nigerians have never suffered the way they have suffered like this before. It has never been this bad. So, irrespective of the fact that there are some people that will always be blinded to this primordial sentiment, which is tribal and religious sentiment, they are, even within themselves, they are suffering hardship. I know people that I know, I can tell you for a certain that I don't want to call names. I know that some of my Yoruba brothers, that on a very normal day, if we're in 2015 by now, with the whole Tinubu's candidature right now, no support Tinubu. But they have seen the hardship. They have seen the hardship, and they have seen the impending disaster that the man's candidacy will bring to Nigeria, because we have seen a presidency that have been hijacked by cabal, so-called cabals right now. And you're now bringing another man that is showing all sign of mental instability. And you know that it is already showing that his government is going to be hijacked by cabals. So it is something that they see for a certain that, no, we cannot allow tribal sentiment to blind us right now. There are people that are going to fall for it. But the majority of Nigerians are feeling firsthand the brunt of bad leadership. And they want to change. And they see this change in two young, vibrant, agile men, in Obi and Dati. So I am not, if I said earlier on, I said this is not a salvation ministry. We cannot save everybody. We cannot win everybody. It is an elections, and elections, what you need is majority. And I believe the majority of Nigerians are sensible enough to deduce from these four candidates, all these candidates, that there is only one ticket. There is only one ticket that is speaking to the issues. There's only one ticket that are ready to talk, are ready to fight for the Nigerian people. There's only one ticket that is ready to take us from where we are today to the next level. So I am so optimistic. I believe that we have not totally passed that stage, but this particular election will be a determining factor to say that from going forward, henceforth, we can no longer build our country based on tribe or religion. So I feel like we have not gone, we have a whole lot of saving to do, but I'm not scared about that. Those that will vote based on tribe will be fewer than people that will vote based on competence.
Okay. I'm going to ask you two questions now. I'd like you to answer them concurrently. All right. Do you think that the candidacy of Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed will unite Nigeria? How far do you think their candidature would unite Nigeria? That's the first question. The second question is, why is it so important that we don't miss this golden opportunity? Missing the chance of voting in Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed as our leaders. Why is it crucial that they get in to the leadership position at this moment in time?
First of all, let me say about the unification of Nigeria. Nigerians have never been this divided ever since I've known Nigeria, and I'm not that old. I think if this is the ticket of unification, because this is the only ticket that is based on equity, justice, and fairness. So if you want to unify a country that is highly polarized, highly divided, we can see the whole nepotistic appointments made by the APC government over the past 7 years, then it should be a ticket based on equity, justice, and fairness. And if in all our conversation today, I've not talked about equity, justice, or fairness. I've always insisted on what Peter have always been saying: competence, capacity, and character. But if for a country to thrive, we are at the point in time whereby we are having a Muslim, 8 years of a Muslim president, a full Muslim president, and you're not presenting another ticket in a highly polarized country, a highly divided country. You're not providing another Muslim ticket. It is a recipe for disaster. So, or a transition from a Fulani Muslim to another Fulani Muslim, that's another recipe for disaster. So if we are talking about unification, this is that ticket. This is the only ticket that is ready and willing to unite Nigeria. For me, I believe Nigerians see this and they know this, but we're not building the whole election on this. We have more things to say about Peter, and that's why I'm not focused on this, but that is a unifying ticket. And to your question about, please, can you remind me the second question?
Why is it crucial that we elect Peter Obi and Yusuf Datti Ahmed at this time?
At this point in time, it's just a crossover question from the unification, because Nigeria is at the precipice, as I said earlier on. We are at the precipice that Nigeria is a ticking time bomb. Economically, we are phasing out. Institutional wise, we are phasing out. APC as a party have bastardized every aspect of governance, from the legislative to the executive to the judiciary. We need a total overhaul of these people. Look at the pain. I tell people every day, I say Nigeria, this year is going to be the hard. If you can ask anybody that knows me, from last year, I've been telling Nigerians, I said this year will be the hardest year for every Nigerian. I've been saying this since last year. This will be irrespective of who becomes the president. Even if Peter becomes the president, it will be the most difficult year for Nigerians. But there's a difference. The difference right now is who settles the affairs of this country in this hardship. Who is going to be responsible to talk to Nigerians and let Nigerians understand? Who has compassion? Who can talk to Nigerians? Who can come out and speak to the people and say, please, guys, see what we're passing through, but it's not going to be forever. It's just going to be a phase. Who is relatable to the Nigerians? Who can feel the struggle of daily Nigerians? That is on the ticket today. So when you have people that don't freaking care about the people that are openly telling you that it is my turn, they're telling you that people that are telling you that the APC should drop, to shut up. If you see the way these people react already, you know that these people don't care about Nigerians. They're not there for power. So it is important Nigerians understand that if we fail, we can't fail. For me, I don't even have that mindset of we failing. But if we make a mistake, that is said yesterday, I don't think Nigeria will ever recover from what we're about to pass through. Because 16 years straight of bad leadership is a disaster. And I feel if you can see the international bodies where they're putting their hands towards, you can see that they're being involved in these elections, because Nigeria is the biggest black nation in the world. We have Nigerians migrating every day. Millions of Nigerians have gone out as they're going for their PVC, they're going for their passport booklets. And we have thousands of them following the desert, the Sahara, the Mediterranean Sea, coming to Europe. So it is a recipe for disaster for the world over. That is why we need to get it right now. And I don't think God has brought up Peter and Obi and Datti for this time, that we might see something like this again. If good men like this fail to get into power, you automatically shut the door for good men to ever contest in this country. It shows that the country is not ready for good leadership.
Wow. Grace, I think you have a question.
Yeah, I have one question for him.
Okay.
Saddam, do you think do you have trust towards the INEC in the sense that you believe they can actually deliver a free and fair election?
I don't trust INEC. I don't trust the Nigerian security. I don't trust anything Nigerian. I trust the Nigerian people. I believe that is why we keep telling Nigerians that the power of the people will forever be greater than the people in power. And if you understand that, as Nigerians, elections that get rigged are elections that people do not participate in. When you have voters' apathy, when people don't come out to vote, you can manipulate results. But when Nigerians, we have 94 million Nigerians. Brazil had the elections, and the Brazil people that came out to vote in Brazil, I think there are close to over 100 million people came out to vote How do you rig an election when over 100 million people are coming out? So when you have an election with 94 million people registered voters, we have 94 million registered voters. And last 2019, let me take us back to 2019, we had 84 million registered voters, and less than 26 million people participating in elections. So we had close to 50-something million Nigerians that did not come out to vote with PVCs. So when you have such a system, it is easy to manipulate and rig the result to favor whoever he wants to favor. But when we are encouraging Nigerians, this will be the biggest turnout elections we have ever recorded in our history. So when we come out in our numbers, in our millions, I'm just imagining a drone view, a picture or a video of Nigeria on election day. It's going to be a sea of people. There will be a sea of people out there voting for staying for their vote, counting their votes, following their votes from the polling unit to their ward center, making sure that everything is being transmitted to the server. So I do not trust INEC, but I trust the will of Nigerians to take back their country. And that is where I'm standing.
Okay, that is absolutely great.
Would like to get your opinion on this. The new naira policy and the swap, okay, of the new notes to the old notes. What impact do you think this would have on the coming elections?
Again, I will revert back to what I always tell my people. I say, when we're on spaces, people say don't discuss strategy. And I tell all my friends, I say, the only strategy the establishment have is vote buying. And I'm not going to stand and speak for President Muhammadu Buhari, excuse me. But he has shown signs of someone that wants to probably conduct not maybe necessarily a free and fair election, but an election that could be a little bit called credible. So all these moves by CN and the CBN, the monetary policies are policies that I feel like I hope and I pray Buhari hardens his heart and stick to his guns and say the financial policy should remain the way it is. Yes, Nigerians are feeling the brunt now. Nigerians are suffering, Nigerians are complaining, but we have suffered for the past 8 years. Few sufferings for the next few days will not kill us. I have told everybody, I say, you don't need to, we will not die. If we did not die for the past 7 years of Nigeria or under Buhari, we are not going to die in 20-something days or in less than 18 days, as the case may be. So for me, I'm in support of the policy because the only plan APC have is to vote by. They don't have, that is their, when they tell you jungle will mature. The jungle is a jungle filled with stolen funds. So the jungle is, for them is, let the jungle mature, let us disburse funds. We have created poverty, we have created scarcity, we have created pains. So if these people see, look at how Nigerians were rushing to palliative centers and packing out stuff. So they have envisaged a scenario whereby on election day, they give you 10K, 5K, you will rush and sell your votes. But Buhari is trying to make that impossible right now. So for me, let him phase out that money. I just pray. I heard the Supreme Court came up with something to say that I don't know what I just heard today, but I just pray Buhari uses his executive power and insists that only new notes should be used going to the elections. Every other person, there is no businessman that is complaining. Everybody, 3 months is enough for you to take your money to the bank. If you still have money at home, it means you're a criminal. And that the people that have money stocked in soccer, stocked in GP tanks are politicians. These old notes are I know someone that she told me, and I think that the tweet went viral, but she's a friend of mine. She told me she knows someone at the House of Representatives that has over 200 and something million naira stocked, old notes. He doesn't have to take the money to the bank. So they are all fighting for Buhari to reopen that money so that they can use that old money and buy votes. Hopefully, I hope he does, and Nigeria can see beyond the big picture that we are suffering for now, but for the betterment of our future.
All right, we look forward to Buhari's response on that. Last week, he met with northern governors and they pleaded with him to extend the swapping of the naira and he asked them to give him 7 days. So we're waiting for the 7 days, which will expire sometime this weekend. And let's see what Buhari would say. You know, he was also, the federal government was also taken to court. 3 northern governors also took the federal government to court because of the same naira policy. But let us move away from that now. What would you make of the recent commotion between the Tinubu camp and would we say the presidency or the cabal? There have been some backlash from Tinubu, and we've seen him speaking against the government of the day, against the APC government of the day, talking against the fuel queues and the high rates of fuel prices and all of that. What would you make of all of that?
For me, I'll say it's God's working. It's a prayer point answered for us, because for me, every day I wake up, I pray to God to create more confusion in their midst, because a divided house can never stand. They need to stay more divided. They need to fight hard. The fight is not even as strong as I want it to be. I want it to be more. It should be worse. It should be more than Tyson Fury and Wilder fight. We need them to go harder, because for me, that party has created just chaos for the country. And you see a very greedy man in Tinubu. He has for all this while, the Nigerians have been suffering. He has kept quiet. He has not said anything. All of a sudden, his interest is now being at stake, and he has found his voice. You know, so I am happy that the so-called cabals, are standing their gun. I say this because I don't want to. I might have some informations, but it might be rumors also. But the cabals understand how dangerous the man Tinubu is to be the next president of Nigeria. So he's not someone that any person that likes Nigeria. I'm not even going to go to love. If you like Nigeria, Tinubu should be far away from the candidate of being your next president. So the cabal understand a man that is tainted with a whole lot of dirty baggages coming out. You don't know who his parents are. You don't know where he's from. You don't know his real age. You don't know his mental state. You don't know his health status. He has a whole lot of drug allegations. That's crazy. So if the cabals definitely have seen what Nigerians have seen. So I want the fight. Let them stick to their guns. Let them not give up. Let them not get weary. Let them fight him to the very end, so that he loses the election woefully and probably comes a distant third.
Yeah, that's what we are all looking forward to. We're expecting more drama to unfold in the coming days. All right, we would be letting you go very soon, but just after this question, we would like you to tell us what is it that the Nigerians in the diaspora need to do now? What is this final push? Both Nigerians in the diaspora and Nigerians at home. What is the final push that we need to give this obidatti campaign to ensure victory at the polls?
The final push, I think, is logo, the LP logo and the LP voter sensitization. That is the final push right now, because I tell people, my friends were saying, let's talk. I say, for me, we have enough PVCs in the hands of Nigerians to win these elections. I'll tell you a story of a lady, my friend. She came on violence. She always on our violence space, and she always listens. And I can certainly, I don't want to make numbers, but I know thousands of Nigerians that have gone out to get their PVCs because of how we hold you to accountability as a Nigerian. We drag you to understand that it is your responsibility. She has her PVC. She has registered for PVC for 11 years. 11 good years. She never went to collect her PVC. Till we kept, because me and violence, I have a special prayer for people that don't have the PVC. She says before she sleeps at night, she remember my voice praying that prayer for her. She had to get rushed, told her husband. She had to get her PVC, even though she didn't want to do transfer. She's going to lodge in the place, a hotel close to her place. She came to the violence to make her testimony. And there are a whole lot of other people that come to my DM, the same thing. They have had their PVCs for long, but they have never used it. All those people are going to come out to vote. So the work we can do right now, people in diaspora, is to encourage people back home. There are some people that their PVC is a form of identity, just ID card for them. The only thing, if who are you in Nigeria, identify yourself, you bring up PVC. They have never used it to vote before. All those people, our work now is to encourage them to reach out to people wherever you are. you have your influence, where people you can influence. You're in the bus. I tell my friends, you that have car, you're driving, please stop driving. It's time for you to enter public transport. Enter public transport. Initiate conversation with your daily Nigerians. Talk to people. Go to the market. Talk to people. Go to shops. Just keep talking. This is a time for every Nigerian to talk. Open your mouth and speak. The next person you talk to might be a person that is an undecided voter. He is thinking, I've been hearing rumors about this P2B. Is it true? Is it true? And with the information you have, you can educate people. So we in diaspora, our work is to influence people back home. No fun. My own, I'm saying I'm very, very wicked with my own. There are people that contacted me since last year. I told them, don't call my phone, don't send me a message until you have your PVC. My driver, my generator boy, my car washer, with all of the, I made the gang don't talk to me for 4 or 5 months. They don't talk to me, and I did not talk to them back until they came back. The first thing they came out was, sir, I've got to my PVC, you see my PVC. I said, yes, thank you. Send me your account number. And I now do for you what I wanted to do for you since. So if you Nigerians, if you enable, we have people that we could be so docile. That's why we have bad leadership. We tolerate nonsense. So if you tolerate these people, then nobody's going to die. I saw my house is burning. Oh God, where's your PVC? Oh God, my children, where is your PVC? Because if you get your PVC and you vote right, you don't need to call me and beg me for funds. The country is going to be stabilized in a way that you can walk. You can see the value for. Peter is coming and telling that they're going to pay per hour. You should be proud. You should be fighting for your life, knowing that it is possible for me to be paid per hour. That means I don't have to go and work 9 to 5 and don't feel like I'm taking home same salary while I can work 9 to 5 and I'm being paid per hour. So it is, you can see the transformation agenda this man is bringing in. You should fight for it with your life. So for me, I tell my diaspora friends, encourage people back home. Let them know that their vote is going to count. Let them stay there. Voters' education is the most important thing we have to do in the next 18 days. Let everybody know that Peter is not going to be on the ballot. LP, the will with the father, mother, and child. That is what we should be preaching right now for me. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Saddam. It's been a pleasure talking to you. We must commend you for the work that you're doing with the violence space on Twitter. And we ask you to continue the work that you're doing. And victory is assured for every one of us in the end. Thank you so much for joining us on the program today.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you, Uche, also, and the co-host. Thank you. God bless you guys. Hopefully we'll see you guys. Right. Thank you.
All right. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from Saddam all the way from Europe. He's a convener of the violence space, and he had so much to say.
Yeah, wow. He's really doing a great job over there.
Yes. You know what struck me, the final words, and when he talked about the final push, and he said that it's the voter education. Because, I saw a video somewhere on social media yesterday, and they were asking a woman, who would you vote in this coming elections for your president? And she said Peter Obi. He was like Peter Obi. And then I asked her, okay, if you have the ballot, which party is Peter Obi in? She said APC.
Oh God.
Can you imagine that? So a lot of people that even have the intentions of voting Peter Obi do not even know the party or the party logo. Okay, so a lot of work still needs to be done regarding voter education. And something else that Saddam said, people that have cars, even if you don't have cars, when you find yourself in a bus or in a market space, you spread the word, talk to people about a new Nigeria, the possible Nigeria that Peter Obi is bringing to us. All right. So this is how we get everybody involved. Okay. The era of being docile is gone. It's time for us to fight and fight for our lives, fight for our future of our children. So it's our fight, okay, and it's our responsibility, all right, to talk in buses, in the market spaces, in public spaces, wherever you find yourself. Make sure that you are spreading the word about Peter Obi and about the new Nigeria that Peter Obi promises to bring to us. All right, this is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of the program. If you're a Nigerian in the diaspora and you wish, to be a part of this program, please reach out to us on any of our social media platforms. We are at Obidatti Family TV on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and even on TikTok. All right, send us a message and we will get back to you. Also, if you are a viewer and you have comments, all right, about any of the topics that we have raised today, you can send us a message in the comment section on these platforms as well. You can also reach out to us on our individual platforms at official PCatch, across all social media platforms. And what about you, Grace?
You can reach me out on all social media platforms at Signal Empire.
All right, beautiful. All right, this is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of the program Diaspora Diaries. Until we come your way again tomorrow, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye for now.